Put up with this on the bus.
14 hours both ways. I try to be. I try to be. Thank you, folks. And I think you were asked earlier, who else here is taxed enough already? Come on. I want to hear that right-winger, crazy, mad attitude, because that's what we're here for today. Again, my name is Barber. I am running for Congress here in District 2, but I'll tell you something. Even if I was not running for Congress and running against Bobby Bright, I would be here at a Tea Party today. I came from the Tea Parties. I believe in the Tea Parties, and I thank God every day for the Tea Parties and what they've done all throughout last year. I'd like to take you back for a moment to March of 2009. I had just heard about the Tea Party, and I really wasn't quite sure what it was. I really didn't pay very much attention to politics as near so as much as I do now, because you know what? I was too busy working. I was too busy earning my way and providing my family and spending time with my family. But I started hearing the word trillion. Started hearing that word trillion over and over again. You know, until 2009, trillion wasn't a very popular word. $1 trillion was really an unheard of number by at least me and most of you, I'd imagine. $1 million was a lot of money. $1 billion was an unseen amount of money that a small business owner like me never would fathom trying to even count one day. But early last year, you know, the trillion was started to come out everywhere. We started hearing it over and over again, and I started to get uncomfortable. I started to get very uncomfortable. I started to get a little nervous about this change that Barack Obama was talking about. And early last year, after getting nervous about this, I decided, you know what? I got to tell you the truth, I was scared. I still am. I'm afraid for my family, my business, my community, and my country. Everything is happening way too fast. First, they bailed out Wall Street. Then Obama took over the banks, and then General Motors. Then they passed $1 trillion single-year budget deficit, the biggest in our nation's history. And before we could blink twice, they spent another $1 trillion on a stimulus bill. I could barely wrap my head around it. Any of those government actions on their own would be historical and deeply troubling. But all of them were back to back to back within 4 small months. I wanted to scream bloody murder. But what I realized is that I didn't have a choice anymore. Much like most of you, I had to get involved. So a year ago today, I went to the first Tea Party in Montgomery, still not entirely sure of what a Tea Party might be or what I, as an individual, could possibly do. Needless to say, it was a sight for sore eyes. I saw hundreds of people like myself and much like you. People who loved their country. People who saw the America they knew, the America they grew up in, slipping away, possibly being taken away. I saw people who were determined to right the ship, to stop the madness of runaway federal government, and to restore our country to its founding principles. I felt saved by the Tea Parties and the people in the Tea Parties. I still do today. We conservatives in general, you know, we don't really have time to protest. Again, we have jobs. We're too busy working so that we can pay the taxes for those who don't want to work. Yeah. So to see responsible, hard-working, God-fearing people take time out of their day, their jobs, and away from their families to have their voices heard, to petition their government, and to take the streets in order to save their country from socialism, needless to say, I was truly inspired 1 year ago today. It would be much easier to stay at home and hope someone else does the work. Lord knows I did it for long enough before last year. I didn't think I should have to worry about what my government's doing. I felt like I should take care of my family. Most would look at a colossal mess in Washington like we see today and think, you know what? That problem's just a little too big for me to take on. But you didn't. I didn't. We're here today. And we're here for a purpose, aren't we, folks? Me and you, we're here to show solidarity against unrestricted government intrusion into our lives. We're here to shine the light of truth on government excess and abuse. We're here staring down the face of a powerful and radical enemy that is intent on replacing American individualism with a European-style collectivism. We of the Tea Parties are here in the long tradition of Americans standing up against tyranny, and we are not going away, are we? Tyranny comes in many flavors, but whether tyranny is threatening nuclear holocaust like in Iran today, or promising universal health care like the progressives in Congress and White House have done, There is a common thread of those who seek to impose their will on the lives of individuals through force. Please don't be confused. I'm not exaggerating when I say that the Tea Parties we're here to save this country. I believe that is exactly what we are doing today. Yeah! The media likes to paint pictures of the Tea Parties as angry, racist, and uneducated. Well, they're correct on one account. We are angry, and we have damn good reason to be. We're angry because our government is mortgaging the future of our children and our grandchildren. We're angry because the Democrats in Congress are bribing each other with our money in order to pass legislation that we don't want. We're angry because our president is jet-setting around the world and apologizing for the greatest nation God ever gave man. We're angry because our government is trying to enslave us with crippling entitlements. Entitlements. That's really the heart of the issue, isn't it? There's a wise old adage, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man a fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. The present administration is doing everything in its power to be a daily provider of fish for every American citizen in our country. Today, over 60% of Americans receive more in handouts from the federal government than what they pay in taxes. Over 60%, folks. The net result of these entitlement programs is the creation of a dependent society, a controlled society. By providing unending handouts to the poor, to the disenfranchised, and to those whom the elites in government believe cannot take care of themselves, our government is effectively enslaving a growing portion of our countrymen. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. First they say a man can't take care of himself, and then they make it a reality by getting the poor wretch hooked on government handouts. The mentality of these programs effectively rob individuals of their free will, and that is immoral. Everyone here today at this rally knows that life can be hard. Life can be unforgiving. But we are here because we and our founding fathers believe that if we are allowed to be free, we can be overcome any of life's difficulties and obstacles that are thrown our way. We are resilient, we are self-reliant, and we are productive. We believe that God blessed this country, but not forever. You see, it's our responsibility to preserve God's blessing. And as Ronald Reagan said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our grandchildren's children what it was once like in the United States where men were free. Our founding fathers threw off the yoke of government oppression in 1776. They gave us a template for a free society, and American soldiers have fought and died defending the civil society and individual liberty for over 200 years, and I know many of you are here today. We've beaten the British Empire, the German, the Nazis, the Soviets, and now we're beating the hell out of the jihadis, and yet somehow we're managing to lose the internal fight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a brink. We have nearly voted away our liberty for the notion of a free lunch. And that's why we're here today. We're here to protect our country's heritage and its future. We're here because we're not afraid anymore. We're here to speak the truth to the powers in Washington, to rise up with one voice and remind our forgetful representatives that they work for us. Friends, this fight isn't over. We have many battles ahead of us this year, so I will leave you with this. On the Tea Party's first birthday, I am asking you, no, I am charging you to get involved in this election and stay involved. We need a massive Republican grassroots movement in every GOP campaign in Alabama. It's your responsibility to donate money, to place signs, to make calls, to hand out literature. For all the conservative candidates running for office, it's the only way we can change what's going on in Washington today. They have answered, these candidates have answered the call to action and are running to fight. And they are run to the fight. But they will only be as strong and they will only be as effective as those that fight with them, that fight beside them, and fight for them. So for our children's sake, for our grandchildren's sake, and for your own sake, we must take back America in 2010. Are you committed with me to take back America in 2010? Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Rick Barber, running for Congress. God bless you all.